Yo, what's going on, guys? CultofMush back at it with another video, another edition of top 5 best PC game deals of the week. Been doing this series for a while now, and this is probably the weakest week yet. Not to say that there aren't any good deals, but a lot of them are repeats. And that's bound to happen when I do this series weekly, so just keep that in mind. But still, some very good deals to pick from for those of you looking to pick up a few games on the cheap. So with that being said, let's get right into this with number 5. Let's start off with the Humble Bundles. The Humble Gems bundle is available for another 5 days. And these games aren't blockbusters by any mean. They're more underrated, low-key games, and I won't lie, I haven't played all of them. So for the $1 minimum, you'll get Techno Babylon, Odalist, The Dark Call, and Chroma Squad. I'm familiar with Techno Babylon and Chroma Squad. I actually played a bit of Chroma Squad and really enjoyed it. I think for $1, that game alone is worth it, and I've heard very positive things about Techno Babylon, so that's probably a game you want to check out as well. The Beat the Average is $4.45, and that'll give you Spera. I don't know if I pronounced that right. That's an early access game. Westorado, Double Barreled, and Assault Android Cactus. That's the $4.45 Beat the Average, and then if you pay $12 or more, you'll also get Unbox. All of these games have very positive reviews on Steam, none below 90%, and with these Humble Bundles, they're so cheap. If you just want a few new games to go into blind, they're always a good option, especially these lower key Humble Bundles. Humble Bundle has also got a Humble Day of Devs bundle, and this is the one that I would highly recommend you guys to check out. So the pay what you want minimum of $1 will get you Lumino City, Broken Age, and Titan Souls. I've played both Broken Age and Titan Souls. Those are very good, and for $1, that's amazing. The Beat the Average is $4.38, and that'll get you Massive Chalice, Oxenfree, and Grim Fandango Remastered. Oxenfree was one of my favorite games of the year. It's actually one of the few games that I have a review for on my channel, so if you want to check that out, feel free. But yeah, Oxenfree is a fantastic game, easily worth that $4.38 alone. If you're into games like The Walking Dead or the Telltale games, it'll be right up your alley. I've also heard very positive things about Grim Fandango Remastered, and I've heard Massive Chalice is also pretty good. And then if you pay $9 or more, you'll also get Day of the Tentacle Remastered. Personally, I would stick to that $4.38 Beat the Average. To get those 6 games for a little over $4, that's an absolute steal. Like I said, I think Oxenfree alone is worth that price, and then you get Titan Souls, Broken Age, Grim Fandango Remastered. That's just a fantastic bargain. Moving on to number 3, over on GOG, this is a deal that happens fairly frequently, but it's so good that I always have to mention it, and that's Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings, available for $3. I see this game for $3 all the time, but regardless, if you've never experienced the greatness of The Witcher, and you don't understand why I always go on and on about the game and why I consider it one of my favorite series ever, then The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings is a great starting point. It's very cheap, and unlike the first Witcher game, it hasn't aged too poorly. I went back and I played The Witcher 1, and just comparatively to games of today, yes, I'm sure it was a good game back in 2007, but just visually, it doesn't hold up. With Witcher 2, I can still go back to this game and play it, and it still looks amazing, it plays amazing, and for just $3, I mean, how can you go wrong? Unlike The Witcher 3, The Witcher 2 is a very linear experience. The Witcher 3 is this gigantic, vast open world. The Witcher 2 isn't that, but it still tells an exceptional story, and there is a sizable amount of content to the game. It'll take you around 15 to 20 hours to complete, and there's reason to play through the game multiple times. It's very much worth playing. If you never played Witcher 2 and you played through Witcher 3, I would still suggest go ahead and pick up Witcher 2 and play through that, because it is a good game in its own right. It's just of a different kind, being a linear action RPG rather than a full-blown open world RPG. Regardless, Witcher 2 is still fantastic. If you haven't played it, pick it up ASAP. Moving on to number 2, another deal that comes and goes often, and that's Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor. It's available on Bundle Stars. This is the bundle. It includes the game as well as all of the DLC, which for WB, they release a lot of DLC for their games, but $7, you get Shadows of Mordor, which is a fantastic game, especially on PC. The port is really good, it looks really good, and the game itself is also very good. The highlight of the game, in my opinion, is the combat. It's very robust. Think something like Batman Arkham, a little bit more faster paced, but very good. The story's also pretty good, and if you're a fan of the license, you'll really enjoy the game. Even if you're not, though, I personally am not. and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Shadow of Mordor, and like I said, $7 with all the DLC, that's a pretty solid pickup. Finally, number 1, over on Green Man Gaming, you can pick up the Mass Effect Trilogy. The VIP price is $10, and like I've said in previous videos, the VIP price, all it is you have to make an account, and then you get the VIP price. It's not like you have to pay a yearly fee. Nothing like that. You literally log in, and then you get the VIP price, which is usually about 10% lower. So, the Mass Effect Trilogy, $10. You get Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, along with the DLC. It's a stellar deal. I know some people are a bit sour with Mass Effect because yes, Mass Effect 3 didn't have the best ending in the world, but to outright disregard the trilogy because of Mass Effect 3's lackluster ending, that's just a disservice to the amazing games that these are. The first Mass Effect game, yes, this one hasn't aged all too well. Some of the controls are very clunky, but I played through the entirety of Mass Effect 1 2 years ago, and I still found it thoroughly enjoyable. Then I played through Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 2 is still as amazing as ever. This is, in my opinion, one of the best games of all time. It just took everything that Mass Effect did well, retained that, made it better, and it improved upon the gameplay, which was Mass Effect 1's major issue. Mass Effect 2 plays more like a robust third-person cover shooter. And obviously, it still told the amazing story. With Mass Effect 3, the core of the game is still really, really good. That's what a lot of people forget. The gameplay is exceptional. Visually, it looks as good as Mass Effect has. And the story is still very engaging, it's just the ending kind of falls off. And with a lot of people, the ending is the main sticking point, especially when you've invested so much time into a franchise, and I can definitely understand that. BioWare did go back and they did add some things to the ending, but I think most would agree that it's still not perfect and what Mass Effect should have ended on. At least this trilogy. Obviously, we've got Andromeda coming out next year, and speaking of Andromeda, now is a perfect time to play through the Mass Effect trilogy, because while Andromeda does feature a new cast of characters, you'd be foolish to think a BioWare game would not at least reference older games, and if you play through the first 3 games, you'll probably enjoy Andromeda at least a little bit better, and the 3 games are worth playing anyway, so you might as well play them. And for $10, that's just a little over $3 a piece. That's an insane deal, especially considering you get the DLC. It's a lot of content. Very much worth playing through all 3 games. So that's gonna wrap up top 5 best PC game deals of the week. Let me know if you guys pick any of these games up. Some really good options this week. Kind of a lighter week, a lot of repeats from previous weeks. But if I had to recommend one deal in particular, it would be the Humble Bundle with Oxenfree in it for $4.38. Those 6 games for that cheap of a price is just a really, really freaking good deal, and I would highly recommend all of you guys to pick that up. I just really enjoyed Oxenfree, and I want to get that game more out there because, in my opinion, it was one of the best of the year. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.